Hey, what is up, everybody? It's your boy AJTRIP. Welcome to another Big Brother Weekend Review. So, where we left off with Brittany, right? Brittany going, being backdoored by Kylan, um, and leaving the game. Then on TV we had the HOH. Um, we had the HOH competition, which Sarah Beth won. And was won by a little bit, and what Derek X was he was one thousandth or 1,100th of a second away from tying and or maybe even beating Sarah Beth. So that was incredible. So um, so yeah, but Sarah Beth won, and she was ready to, and she was ready to do some things. She had said before that she was actually thinking about maybe doing Ozzy and DF, and that would have been perfect. Put up Ozzy and DF, put up two members of the cookout, and get one of them gone, right? But she decided that she wanted to do something. She wanted to go for a bigger fish. She wanted to go for DX, and I and it kind of I think she wanted to do that from the very beginning. It was it almost seemed like that she had indecision on what she wanted to do, what she wanted to have happen. But I think from the very beginning, what she wanted was she wanted to find some way to get Derek X on the block and out of the house, and to combine that with also having the ability to have this power play. Because what she didn't want to have happen is the next week when she didn't have power to have two things on the block, to have two powers in play. So she wanted to make sure that, and no one played but Alyssa. No one plays but Alyssa. She was the only one that won, which was incredible. I just couldn't believe that. But Sarah Beth nominated Claire and DF, just for the power's sake, right? Um, Nominated those two, and then Alyssa they played the thing. Nobody played. Alyssa, the only one that played, so she was the only one to get the thing. She got the spin. She took Derek F off the block, and she did a spin. And what happened? She spin and it came down on Xavier. Xavier was one her closest ally. Xavier was one. So then Xavier goes on the block. So then there's Xavier, and then there's Claire. They're on the block. They're nominated for eviction. And Alyssa is upset. She can't believe that her closest. She rolled into the closest ally was on the block, but nobody would have played Alyssa. Nobody would have played. So you can't you can't bother yourself with that. So yeah, she went ahead and played. She wanted to gain trust with Sarah Beth as well. And so then that was the thing. And then crazy enough, they went to the veto competition. And the veto competition was a thing where they had to put things in a way and play dominoes basically, and you had to put yourself in a way to whether you would either get money or get punishment. Of course, everybody except DF was going for veto. So they put in the punishments. Some of them were putting in punishments in ways that they, and what's his face? Xavier just said, "No, I'm going straight ahead," and he took, I believe he took BB bankruptcy, which means he doesn't have any bucks. He took strategy shutdown, which is 24-hour solitary confinement, which is he's still doing right now at this point in time. Um, He's also third nominee, which means if he doesn't win HOH next week, he's going to be a third nominee. So that's. But he wanted to get off. He wanted to win and get off the block this week because even though he has the cookout, still he wanted to get himself off the block. And so yeah, that happened. And this is exactly what happened. He did. He was on the block and he got it. He got it off of it. So, and Claire was very upset, but she wanted to win because she was hoping if she would take herself off the block, that even if Sarah Beth took up put up Derek X, that he in her mind she was hoping that Xavier would maybe still possibly go home, but obviously they don't know. They don't know about the cookout and everything like that. And I'm gonna get to the cookout at the end when I go through everything. But yeah, it is similar. Like I said, Xavier won prior veto. Um, he took himself off. Everybody put Derek X up, and at this point, it looks like that Derek X will be leaving the house. Right now, it looks as if Hannah and Tiffany may be the only people voting for Claire, and everybody else, Ozzy, DF, Kylan, uh, Xavier, and Alyssa will be voting for Derek X. Now, Kylan made some stupid remark about saying that he was going to be voting for him, and it would be only 2 votes. And I'm like, Kylan, what are you doing? Why are you voting for him for voting against voting for him? Let him stay. Sarah Beth is your closer. I like cookout. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. And if Derek X stays because Kylan decided to throw him a vote, thinking that everybody else is going to vote, because I think Tiffany's going to vote. I think Tiffany's going to vote against Claire. I do. I think she's going to vote against Claire. And I think Hannah will. And I think there's a possibility that Ozzy would vote since she's been going flipping back and forth as well. Who knows what she's going to do? So at this point, you shouldn't be throwing people votes. Don't do it, especially something like that when the vote could flip that quickly. And hopefully Xavier could at some point, when he gets out, quickly go to Kyle and says, no, you got to vote. You have to vote for what's his face. You have to vote for DX and remind Derek F. Got to vote for DX. Remind Ozzy. Got to vote for DX. And you got to tell Alyssa's going to vote for DX. So that's what you got to do. Now, personally, I think for me, I would enjoy to see DX because I think DX would clear up 2 members of the cookout. I also think Claire would as well. I think Claire would go after Xavier and Kylie. She's mentioned that before. Those would be her 2 targets. Listen, not a target for her. I think also 2 targets would be Ozzy and Derek F because those people. She said people like those they skate by in this game. So there isn't anything that I going on here. So it's just a very very weird thing that's happening this week. And in a couple of weeks we have a thing coming up where it's going to be a triple eviction happening where we're going to go from 7 to 4. So that should be very very interesting. But yeah, I'm hoping that tonight somebody from non-cookout, Alyssa, Claire, or DX would win. Sarah Beth is the other one that is. And Tiffany, she made some stupid comment in the DR last night. She was talking about she was going to somehow try to get DX on the block. And I'm thinking, okay, so how you going to do that? Claire's on the block, right? Alexa X has the power veto. So he's going to take himself off the block. He's not going to stay on the block. Alyssa is safe from winning the competition, right? Alyssa is safe from winning the competition. Everybody else is a cookout member that you apparently you ruin your game for the cookout. So what are you gonna do? You gonna tell somebody else to put somebody else on the cookout and then vote them out? So just so you can, keep DX? That's not gonna happen. Tiffany's so hard trying to be some type of mastermind manipulator, and it's not working. She came up with the plans for that, and so. Good, but she only came up with that because she wants so that if she makes the final 2, she can say this was my plan. So it's been a crazy week. Again, it's not a week that I would have wanted. The ideal situation would have been for 2 cookout members to be on the block tonight, one going home. Still having, Alyssa, DX, and Claire there to maybe try to make a run at this. Um, but now, if what I really want to happen is going to have to happen, Alyssa and Claire and Sarah Beth are going to have to dominate, the rest of the game, and I don't think that's just going to happen. It's not going to happen. Alyssa, she's shown that she's good at comps, and she can win some. Um, Claire tries to win things, but then she doesn't. She's got one of these things that is not the best to win, and that's something that it's ridiculous. So it's not something that I find anything attractive about this game. Derek from Big Brother 16, the winner, Derek Lavessiere, um, he said something earlier this week, or late last week, maybe around Friday or Saturday or something like that, where he said something that everybody needs the opportunity to play in the video, and I've been saying that for years. This backdoor stuff has just it's kind of ruined the game because there is no strategy for this. And actually, what even would be a better way of doing like this is if you know is if that and I've talked about this before. The competitions should be not for who wins, but it should be for who loses. And here's what I mean by that. And I've said this before again, right? So you want to have an HOH, fine. The HOH, have the HOH competition, then that's fine. And then there should be a safety competition. Safety competition with the remaining people, right? With the remaining people, and the last and the people in the final three that finish last in that competition are your nominees. And then those three and those three only play in the veto. So then at least the veto will be win, and somebody could take themselves off, and it comes down to two. And then those two are the nominees for eviction. And those are the ones that you have to choose for. That gets rid of the back door. You've had your chance to save yourself at all costs. That's perfect, right? And I think it also could very well cut down on alliances, right? Because even if you're in an alliance, you said your alliance, yeah, the alliances hurt the game a little bit too, as we can see with the cookout, right? With this alliance, and there's been some other alliances in the way that has passed that is regarding the game. I'm not one that says that a dominant alliance is key. I think last year the committee proved that it's a dominant alliance can be great for the game. But this dominant alliance with the cookout, and I don't even know if I even want to call it dominant. It's an alliance, but it's just and while we're here, while we're talking about the cookout, I'm just gonna go ahead and just I've expressed my feelings about the cookout and how I feel and everything like that, and everything that's going on with it. I had a Twitter conversation with somebody today. We talked about how is the cookout this season going to affect the seasons in the future, and I said you can guarantee well that if there are 3 or 4 not and this doesn't have to be black people, if there are 3 and 4 Latinos, if there are 3 and 4 Asians, somebody who watched this season and is only going to be on one of the other seasons is going to look and say, I need to cut those numbers down. I need to cut those. I need to get rid of some of those agents, so that I have a better chance. Because I think there's a great possibility that once people find out what the cookout was doing, that they're going to be upset. They're going to be upset at them because right now, Sarah Beth thinks Kylan is number one, and they're working together, right? And at the end of the day, Claire thinks that she's so tight with Tiffany. Derek X thinks he's so tight with Hannah, right? Brittany thought he was, she was so down with with Ozza and DF. And Alyssa and X, they have their thing as well, right? But I think they will look at, I think um, they will look at the things, right? They will look at that and say, wow, right? Because I've been saying another time, any alliance that's been all white has not been because they're all white. It's been because of a certain, because they felt like they could help each other get farther in the game. This alliance was made just because there were 6 black people in the house, and that sucks. It absolutely sucks. And a lot of these 6 people don't like each other. They don't like each other. They really don't. Ozzy doesn't like Tiffany. Tiffany doesn't like Ozzy. Derek F doesn't like Tiffany. Tiffany doesn't like Derek F. Um, Kylan gets on everybody's nerves. X is liked by some people. I think X is liked by everybody. You know, for the most part, Hannah may be as well. But and several of them have always said, several of them have said that if that they felt like they couldn't play the game they wanted to play because of the 6. And that's where you put your sights on Big Brother for doing this bullshit. They said 50%, BIPOC. And what that should have been, and I keep saying this, and I will say this to the day that should have been, is there should have been 3 black people, there should have been 3 Latino people, and there should have been 3 Asian people. That would have been 9. Going along with the 7 white people, that would have been perfect. Because guess what? Even if the 3 black people say, "Hey, we'll stick together," they're not going to dominate they're not going to dominate like this, and they're not going to have an advantage going into jury. Even if the 3 black people make it a jury, right? And one of the black people sitting in the final 2, those are only 2 votes. If one of the black people make it, sitting next to a white person, it's an automatic win for them because they're going to vote for the other person. They're going to vote for the black person. The white person doesn't have a chance. I think that's what people are going to look at. They're going to look at and say, "I never had a chance. I never had a chance. If I was sitting next to you, the other black people were going to vote for you. I never had a chance to win it. I was playing for second place." Automatically. I think that's how they should feel. That is totally how they should feel. And in future seasons, it is going to ball out. And I'm not saying it's going to be next season. I'm not going to say the season after that. But I think within the next 5 seasons, there will be somebody who is white who sees, maybe, like, and hopefully, if they don't go back to doing it the way they did it before, where they put maybe 1 or 2 black people, and they do this 50% black people, they do it like I say they should do it, and just have it be just 3 of each, 3 blacks, 3 Latinos, 3 Asians, right? And if they do it like that, right, there's still gonna be people who's going to say there's 3 of them people. I'm gonna need to attack them and get them out. There's 3, and there's gonna be people who say that, and then people are gonna call racism out again and things like that. But why wouldn't you? When you in this season, we had a friggin' alliance just based on race. The cookout, without question, I think the cookout will have ruined Big Brother unless they go back to the old way where they just only put 1 or 2 black people on the cast. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, it's. I think this is going to make it into a race war at some point down the line. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if this was done in good intentions. I said it before, I said it again. They put 6 black people on these shows so that this could exactly happen. Where the 6 black people could work together and get a black champion. That's exactly why they did this. Exactly why. There's no other reason but this. So it is what it is. Yeah. So that's it. That's it. Excuse me. I didn't want to say that shit. I put a Dan Marino there. I had a word that started with an S and ended and it started a word with started a word that ended with an IT. Or in his place, um, I think he ended a word with an SH and the next word was IT and it sounded like he said shit. When he was doing this was 10 years ago, but this was when he was doing a highlight for CBS. I remember that was absolutely incredible. But yeah, so we'll see where that goes. We'll see what happens next week. Last week, folks, do not vote for Hannah. For money. Make sure that you not vote for her. Because right now, Derek F, he's guaranteed to play because of the money that he had. I don't know why the fuck y'all voted him. Giving him $100 anyway. But he got $200 and he got money during the veto challenge. So he has money now to play in the Triple Destiny. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's like the first one where you have an opportunity to not win it, like nobody could win it, or I don't know if it's going to be like I don't know if it's going to be like this one where you could have won like if more people had played, it was going to be a winner. And then last week, as we saw with Tiffany, pushing the thing down and she getting zero. Nobody they could have played and nobody could have won. So I'm hoping that this is what this is that you can play but nobody could win because I don't want Derek F having the ability to overthrow the thing, or actually at some point maybe in a way I do want it so that if there are two black on the block and he does the whole thing where he does the taking the people off the block and Derek X said it was anonymously still that should you know that should automatically pop in some of these guys' heads. Like for instance, if I say right, um, let's say Claire, um, let's say, let's say, let's say Claire wins tonight, right? She stays and she wins tonight, and she goes with Kylan and Xavier, and she wins the veto. She keeps the nominations the same, right? So we get to next Thursday, and it's Kylan the next on the block, and Julie says the corner destiny was flipped, and it came down on yes or heads or whatever, and the person who won has decided to take Kylan and X off the block and put up Sarah Beth and Alyssa, right? That should immediately put in the minds it's fucking six of them. It's fucking six of them. I don't understand how they I still don't understand how they haven't seen it so far. I mean, Jared X and Claire have said it. Everyone said it out loud. They've said it. It was a thing earlier this week. I think it was on Sunday. Um, you know, yeah, on Sunday, Sunday's episode when they were talking, they was like in the bathroom, and this was like a week or two or so ago. But Derek X was talking to Claire, and he was talking about it could be Xavier or Tiffany. I was like, they were basically naming all of the people in the fucking alliance, but they just wasn't saying it, and and that's one thing that's frustrating me too. The fact, again, you give them credit because they've hit it well, but also, why does people just haven't looked at it, haven't looked at it and said, come on now. It's really, if you looked at it, so it's sickening. So, all right, y'all. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel tonight. I think some of you may be upset that Derek X possibly is going home tonight, but he's a big threat, and so he had to go. Um, yeah, I would rather it be Ozza or Derek F going tonight, but Sarah Beth she wanted to get a big target out, so that's what happened. Um, so yeah, it is what it is. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.